Back here at Jack Murphy Stadium, where the Rams lead the Chargers 14-6. And this first half highlight is brought to you by MCI Proof Positive.
Well, this is just a touchdown to Troy Drayton. And again, this is Chris Miller. And watch Chris Miller, knows where he is, puts the ball in. That's a tough throw and a nice catch by the Penn State guy, Troy Drayton.
Actually, Matt, the Chargers had the big opportunities early. Tony Martin dropped 2 touchdown passes, a couple of turnovers they couldn't capitalize, and the Rams did. And as we take a look at the halftime statistics, if you would have said that Bettis was going to gain less than 10 yards rushing in the first half and the Rams would be leading, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's the credit to Chris Miller and the offensive line giving him some time, because, look, it's been all 147 yards passing the ball. And on the other side, you know, we talked about being able to have a big play. They had their opportunities. They didn't get it, but they've stuck in there. I mean, they're only 8 points behind. Humphries has been getting all kinds of pressure. He's thrown the ball 22 times. He's been blitzed almost half, been sacked twice. It's a rough day. They need to get more balance like we talked about at the start of the game.
And, of course, some receivers holding on to the ball, because Humphries made a couple of good tosses that would have been touchdowns. Stan Humphries, 10 of 22 for 71 yards and an interception. Miller having a very fine first half with 2 touchdowns and 157 yards. Miller making his 8th start of the year. It's been back and forth with Chris Chandler. Both have suffered injuries this year. Miller, of course, even last week against the Niners, went out with a knee injury on the first play, but came back and nearly brought the Rams home. John Carney will kick off to start the second half.
And as average as that Charger offense has been through the first half, really they're right in the middle of this game. I mean, it's only 8 points. That's just 1 score. So this thing is even right now.
Todd Kinchin and David Lang are back deep for the Rams. And it's going to be Lang again. He's returned a couple of good ones so far. Turning the corner, David Lang does it again with a fine burst of speed, still going, and winds up close to midfield. He went out of bounds, I believe, at about the 42. Sean Van Horst made the play, pushed him out of bounds.
Watch Lang take it up for Wayne Severe's special teams, and then watch the block right there by Todd Kinchin that allowed him to get around the corner. And then Lang just one of those guys who just was a hard-running guy. I mean, he just sees things. We know what I like about guys like that? They're decisive. Once they see it, they just hit it full speed.
34-yard return. Rams have passed 10 more times than they've run. And that may be one of the reasons why Bettis has only 9 yards rushing. Play fake on first down as they fake the draw. And the pass is caught by Griffith. Howard Griffith, normally in as a blocker, picks up good yardage and a first down. Maybe shy by a yard.
And Howard Griffith, he has some quicks out there in the flats. And this guy here, Jerome Bettis, is a guy you can see averaging 1.5 yards a rush today. I mean, that's pretty anemic. And it's not his fault, really. When you get a guy like Bettis, he makes a lot of the yards in his zone, but you can't do that all the time in this league, and that offensive line has not been giving him any room to run.
They gained only 42 yards in the last 2. Second down and 1. And on a reverse, Kinchin fumbles the ball. Flag is down. And Kinchin is going to be short of the first down, so that was a totally messed up play by the Rams, and we'll see what the flag is.
Well, did you see Leslie O'Neal come blowing up the side, and then Jones was trying to hold on to him, and he couldn't quite get there. And heck, Leslie O'Neal almost got there before the reverse guy got there. Watch him come blowing up the side. And then Jones is trying to block him out of there. Then he gets inside, and then Jones knows he's in trouble and puts the hook on him.
Holding, number 72, offense. 10 yards, second down.
Clarence Jones holding, and that will set the Rams back.
That Leslie O'Neal, he's a thinker. I spoke with him yesterday, and he's one of those guys who tries to figure everything out and has a pretty good handle on what's going on.
Second down and 11. Rams on their own 42. Pass up the middle and nearly picked off Stanley Richard with good contact. Kind of anticipated that pass to Jesse Hester, who was sitting at the 45.
Well, I got to tell you, Leslie O'Neal, watch him again. And he has Jones fits. He takes him, starts him upside, and watch him jump back inside. And I got news for you. He got away with another hold. And then on the other side, watch the ball in the air. Watch Stanley Richard breaking that thing before anybody even saw it. Richard made this move.
3rd down and 11. Fake handoff to Bailey. Miller with a flag down in the backfield, goes out of bounds. Let's see if we have another holding penalty against the Rams.
But I think they may get Gandy for pushing the guy in the back outside of the pocket.
And it is another fake penalty against
Holding. Number 70, offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Gandy, the 1st-round pick from Auburn, having his hands full today.
Like Gandy, he's a big guy, but I got to be honest with you, as a tackle, he needs to get bigger and he needs to be stronger. He has all the athletic moves inside, and this is the guy, Jackie Slater, who could help him. Because Slater, one of the all-time greats, and he's been teaching Gandy, and one of the things he should impart on him is that mean streak that Jackie's had for so many years.
Good guy to learn from. Sean Landeta will kick it, and Darian Gordon back deep for the Chargers. Returnable for Gordon. Turns the corner. Gordon finds an opening. He's got a blocker. Darian Gordon down the sideline. Will score. No flags. "75-yard punt return by Darian Gordon."
And a great job by Coleman at the end. That was able to spring him right at the end. Now watch Gordon. He eludes the first tackler, Lang. All your great returners will do that. Now watch him back inside, and he sees Coleman. Look at Coleman looking back and forth. And then you get Landeta. You just push the kicker and allow him to go in. You can't draw it up any better than that.
And the Chargers are going to go for 2 to try to tie the game. They trail 14-12 and will go for 2 points here. Chargers are 2 for 4 this year when they have gone for the 2-point conversion.
I'll be 70.
Here's Ronnie Harmon, and he'll go over to tie the game.
Same thing as that big 3rd down. Harmon just takes it again. They get more people to one side than the other, and that's another 2 points tie ball game.
Darian Gordon with a 75-yard punt return. His 2nd touchdown of the season, that route. And the 2-point conversion for Ronnie Harmon, the 3rd 2-point conversion, and he's been part of it, so he has figured in all 3 of them. And Stan Humphries with a smile on his face as the Chargers have come back to tie up the Rams early here in the 3rd quarter.
And that's that emotional lift that they needed. Let's see if it makes a difference for them. Again, a young team that feeds off of emotion when their highs are high. When their highs are high.
As opposed to the lows being low.
Well, thank you very much.
You're right. You said the big play. It happened on special teams. Kickoff, Todd Kinchin. 1 yard from the end zone returning. Kinchin with a flag down, way back. Kinchin still on his feet. Kinchin is going to go all the way. And Kinchin will go into the end zone, but there's a penalty marker down back on the 20. And it may be an illegal block against the Rams.
That's a hold. Yep.
Holding. Nullify what would have been a 99-yard kickoff return. I don't think they know yet.
On the return team, number 57.
They got Humko on the hold.
Half the distance to the goal line. 1st down.
So instead of a 99-yard touchdown, they'll probably spot the ball at about the 10-yard line. Thomas Humko was holding.
It's only a 90-yard difference. That will drive Wayne Sevier absolutely crazy. And Wayne Sevier is one of the top special teams coach in this league. See him right there to your left, right here. And that's part of it. He understands that. In fact, on something like this, he won't get on Humko. On something inside where it could have gone either way, that's when he'll jump him, because this one just kills him.
Well, you were with him in Washington when he was the Redskins special teams coach under Joe Gibbs. And you're right, one of the best and one of the most personable coaches around as well.
Yeah, real bright guy. I really enjoyed him. The crowd starts getting into it, too. Again, another thing for the emotion to be fed off of.
They're in a big way now. First down on the 10. Jerome Bettis. And the Chargers have bottled him up today. No gain by Bettis. John Perella making his first NFL start, playing in place of Sean Lee. Perella, a second-round pick by Buffalo last season.
I think some credit has to go to Davis and Perella inside, because Bettis has not been able to run it all inside. And then, of course, that comes to stuffing those guards in the center in there, and that's Davis and Perella.
Second down and 10. 4 wide receivers. Inside handoff to Johnny Bailey, and the Chargers stop him.
Stanley Richard just comes flying up out of that. They're in the nickel, and Richard read it right away.
1-yard pickup. It'll be third down and long.
How about Stanley Richard? I started asking him yesterday about his nickname. He said, actually, my nickname goes back to the Hawks from Hawkins, Texas.
Right.
We were the Hawkins High Hawks. And I go back there every offseason.
Third down and 9. Here comes the pressure on Chris Miller. O'Neal will chase him out of bounds. Big play by the Chargers defense.
That is a coverage sack. That time Leslie O'Neal was blocked by Jones all the way, and because of the coverage downfield, he could not throw it anywhere, and O'Neal comes up with a sack.
His second sack of Chris Miller today, and now Landeta will have to kick from deep in his end zone, giving Darian Gordon another opportunity.
And at the very least, some very good field position for the Chargers.
And remember, the 99-yard kickoff return by Kinchin was nullified because of a holding penalty. And the great kick by Landeta sends Gordon back inside his 40. And he does a pretty good job as he gets the ball close to midfield. Roman Pfeiffer making the tackle, but this tenor of the game has definitely turned over to the Chargers side. Number 91, Leslie O'Neal, a sack and a half. He shared one with Les Miller earlier, so right now O'Neal has 10 quarterback sacks on the year, and the Chargers start out in great field position on their own 48. On the delay, Means breaks one tackle and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Pfeiffer was right there. No gain on the play. Well, next week, join Terry, Howie, and Jimmy and James for the #1 pregame show on television, and then the drive for the playoffs begin. The Cowboys riding high against the Eagles, who have lost 3 in a row, and then Atlanta victorious today over those Eagles against the 49ers. How do you figure it, Matt?
Well, I figure the Philadelphia Eagles are taking a slide because their offensive line is not playing very well right now. I mean, I think that line's getting exposed.
Humphrey on a slant pass to Mark Say, and it is caught for a short gain. And right now, for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. Giants trying to make it 2 in a row. They won Monday night in Houston. Third down and 6 for San Diego. Humphreys out of the pocket, fires. Pass is caught by Tony Martin. And that should be close to the first down, and it is.
Boy, he throws a good comeback ball, doesn't he? And a nice job by Martin of coming back to the ball. Watch Humphreys scrambling over here. He throws a really good comeback ball. That ball's on the run, and he throws it down and out. In fact, he may have been going underneath.
Johnny Barnes.
To Barnes.
Yeah. Martin had been embarrassed after dropping 2 sure touchdown passes earlier, but he gets a big third down reception there.
4 in.
On the 41 of the Rams. Play fake. And the pass out on the flat to Shannon Mitchell. Mitchell is plopped down hard.
That was a plop?
That was a plop.
Holy smoke, he got drilled.
Mitchell is shaking his right hand. Remember, he bruised his pinky earlier in the first half.
Watch Mitchell just go to lower the shoulder. He makes the one guy miss, and then Joe Kelly shows up.
That's a flop.
And he just drills him.
Second and short. All 3 Ram linebackers have been a factor today. Natron Means, first down and more. Gets to the 25. Shane Conlon, and Means nearly broke another tackle. Pickup of 9 yards.
Yeah, that offensive line is starting to do the job, but not up inside. Now they're going to start to run outside and run the edge. And you got Kokozo out there, and they just push people. They just get those big bodies and try to create seams, and then Means, with those feet, will find the open spot.
Means has gained 57 yards in 14 carries. He gained 59 yards in 15 carries last week. First down, Mitchell, or Murphy. Humphries with the short drop. Incomplete to Marseille. Just under 8 minutes remaining, third quarter, tied at 14.
Well, I think that offensive line, particularly the left side, Kokuzo and Swain, much better game this week than last week. I mean, last week they didn't play very well at all. Kokuzo with a couple of big blocks pulling on the corner, and then we really haven't heard much from Sean Gilbert inside, which means that he's doing a pretty good job inside.
Second down and 10. Here's the draw play. Means gets down to the 15-yard line and may have another first down. Pfeiffer on the tackle, and Natron Means is running in full gear now, and they have to separate some of the players down there. Robert Young of the Rams in there.
Well, you know, Sean Gilbert, we said he hadn't been hearing from him. Now watch Courtney Hall and Kokuzo, and they just double him. And then Jonathan just puts the clamps to get away with a big hold right there on Kelly, and that allows Natron to come blowing up inside. And I talked before about Sean Gilbert and how I have him stuck at tackle. I think skill-wise, he's right there with the great ones. But you have to move this guy around to make him more effective. You can't just keep him at one spot. I'd move him at end. I'd put him over your weakest guy and let him exploit it.
Similar to a Reggie White situation?
Yeah, that's the kind of skill this guy has. He's a big man. He said he's 310 pounds. He moves like a much smaller guy. You just got to put him in a position to do more things, I think.
Third down and 1, actually less than a yard.
4 in.
Movement in the line, penalty marker down. If it's against the Rams, it'll be declined because Natron Means, with the power, picked up the first down.
Yeah, I'd take it because you're going to get another 4 yards on top of it because I think Jimmy Jones blew the count.
Offside, defensive nose guard. 5 yards.
You're right, 5 is better than 1.
First
Oh, yeah.
I figured that out.
And that last math I checked, watch Jones right up here. 98. See, he jumps the count into Jonathan. Actually, a good job by Jonathan of catching him. And then look at that. Nice stop in the hole by Shane Conlon. That Conlon, he's a tough guy.
He drove Conlon back a couple of yards, so now a first down on the 11-yard line. Chargers could get a first down without scoring. Dan Humphries throws it away. He knew he did not have a receiver, and the pressure was coming down hard.
I think there was miscommunication here because I think Humphrey was looking for the corner, and instead he got a slant. And I think the slant was open, to be honest with you. But when he saw it wasn't there, he just threw it away.
Dan Humphries coming in with the elbow brace, arthroscopic surgery, and today he has hurt his right hand as well. He's had all kinds of injuries this year. Sprained knee, bruised ankle, bruised hip. Hangs in there, second down and 10. Give the ball to Means, but the Rams snuff him. And that will bring up third down. Jimmy Jones was the man in the picture.
That Conlon, he keeps on showing up. Anything that's run inside, Shane Conlon will be around. I think he's one of those guys who's a good reader, and he's real efficient.
You saw Ronnie Harmon come into the game. One of the big problems for the Chargers has been the fact that they could not get him the ball. He's been double teamed. Third down and 9 coming up on the 10. Harmon is in motion. Humphrey looking his way. Throwing. Touchdown, Ronnie Harmon.
What a catch.
Ronnie Harmon has come back to the Chargers offense today. And San Diego has taken its first lead.
The first thing they do is they go in motion, and they'll leave no backs in the backfield, takes away the run threat. And now he's just going to run the corner. Remember, earlier in the game, he ran this same route. Humphreys just put the air under it. And this time, it's right where it has to be. There may have been a pick down there. I saw somebody flash. I'd like to see if they got away with something.
Harmon beat Anthony Newman in the corner. He has caught 4 passes, 32 yards, and a touchdown. And John Carney on to kick the extra point. The kick is good. And for the first time today, the San Diego Chargers at 8-3 have taken the lead on this touchdown catch. It's 21-14. Chargers lead for the first time today, 21-14, 6:20 remaining in the third quarter. A 10-play scoring drive capped by Harmon's great catch of a Stan Humphries toss. 21-14 the score. So Humphries, banged and bruised, has brought the Chargers back. Carney kicking off, and it's going to be David Lang, who's had a good day returning kickoffs. But not that time, and it's the Sheriff, Stanley Richard, who makes the big tackle after a return of 19. And we'll take a break, 6:10 to go in the third.
I watched Ronnie Harmon. I said there was a pick. You know what it is? It's Ronnie Harmon knowing how to run patterns, because he sees this and he's going to run them right into him. See that? That you cannot teach. That's instinct. That's Ronnie Harmon's 6 points. That's all him.
First down on the 26 for the Rams, who trail by 7. Jerome Bettis, he has not had a big day as he breaks a tackle, and it takes 5 Chargers to bring him down.
He's a man, I'll tell you that. That was all Bettis. I mean, he only picks up 4 yards, but it's all him.
Upstairs, the owner of the Chargers, Alex Spanos, on the left, and Bobby Beathard, the architect of this San Diego team.
Yeah, there's that Cal Poly guy, one of the good minds in the National Football League. Really big on personnel. He loves, this is a chess game to him, and I think one that he's winning.
Rayleigh Johnson is in for Leslie O'Neal up front for San Diego. Second down and 3. Miller trying to bring the Rams back, completes the pass to Griffith. So Howard Griffith on the receiving end, run out of bounds by David Griggs after a gain of 9.
Forced out of bounds by David Griggs.
You know, with all the lack of running that's going on with the Rams, a good job of the defensive line. This guy here, Junior Seau, had a quiet day. And they really haven't tested him. He's been dropped in a lot of zones. They haven't really been blitzing him. And I think just by formation, they've taken him out of the game.
First and 10 on the 43 of the Rams. Plenty of time, and there's Howard Griffith again. Same play.
What a play by Mims. Darian Gordon made the tackle there, but boy, Mims came blowing up the field on Gandy, number 70. Watch me, he's going to come up, and he's going to put that spin right back inside, just like Dipsy Doodle. Watch this, right here. Look at that. Throws that elbow to get to the top shoulder. Boy, that's a thing of beauty.
Mims has one of the 3 sacks today. Chris Mims, 6'5", 290 pounds. This is a big line for the Chargers on both sides of the ball.
And they move well. This team moves well up front for the big guy.
O'Neal back in there, number 91 at the top. Second down and 5. On the draw play, here's Jerome Bettis. He's getting on track, and Bettis, knocking into his own man, gets a first down and drives to the Charger 40 in a gain of 12. Lonnie Young, unfortunately for him, had to be in there.
Yeah, but credit Lonnie Young for throwing himself in there. Look at this, 250 pounds coming rumbling through the hole, and this guy he's fast. He can move. And then watch him lower his shoulder right at the end. That's a big man. See the difference with Bettis. Remember earlier, middle of the season, he was getting beat up a little bit. So you know those real long pads down the middle of his back.
First and 10 on the 40-yard line. Here's a fake. Miller with time, and there's Howard Griffith out of the backfield, and he was dragging David Griggs downfield, and a gain of 11 and another first down. Howard Griffith playing a big role as the Rams trying to come back here in the third quarter.
A nice job by Chris Miller of being patient, staying with the game plan, again going with the play action, trying to suck those backers in, and then getting Griffiths out in the flat. But nice patience.
Miller has completed 8 of his last 9 passes, and good mixing of plays by Chuck Knox and company. There's our Fox audio. Down on the field, the best in the business. You won't hear any better. First down on the 29. Pressure on Miller. This time Griffith can't hold on, but he was faced with Darian Gordon bearing down on him. And it'll be third down.
And a nice mixture on the other side of the Chargers by Bill Arnsparger in his zone coverage. He's mixing zone and man, but most of the time today, they've been a lot of zone.
There's that vaunted defense, and it has been that way. Bill Arnsparger, the defensive coordinator. The Chargers, even though they have lost 3 out of 5, have not given up all that many points in the last 5 games. It is second down and 10. Chris Miller with a pass, and it's caught by young Isaac Bruce, and the rookie has a first down inside the 20-yard line. Darian Gordon defending. Miller very calm and taking his time, patient here with plenty of time remaining. With his team trailing by 7. Rams led 14-6 at halftime. Those are Chris Miller's numbers.
The other thing that Miller's doing right now is he's reading that coverage very well. And he's going to the weakness of the coverage in those zones away from where they're rolling.
Bruce and Flipper Anderson are the 2 wide receivers for the Rams. And the pass out to Griffith. He is upended. And it was Dwayne Harper who made the first play. And a gain of 3 yards. Howard Griffith all of a sudden.
Yeah, I like that kid. I like this kid Griffith. I think he's one of those guys who shows up. You know, he's got the quick feet. He'll catch the ball well. You ask him to block. He's got a big heart. He'll go throw himself in there. You see this right here, these catches, 5 of them all in the second half.
And 4 in this drive alone. Second down and 7. This time Griffith will carry the ball, and Griffith gets inside the Charger 10. With 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Reuben Davis making the play.
Yeah, and then see the other thing that they have in a backfield like this with Griffiths carrying a ball is that Jerome Bettis isn't afraid to block. I mean, that time he just went flying out there and hit Griggs, the linebacker. And he's a man now. He'll come out and whack you. That's a big body and a tough guy.
Jackie Slater has gone into the game on the offensive line.
See if they don't run right behind that big man.
255th game, tying Earl Morrall for the 4th all-time in the NFL history. And the Rams are going to use their first timeout of the second half. Third down and 1 coming up, and Miller will talk it over. Here's Jackie Slater manning the right side, and the Rams with 2 tight ends. Ron Middleton has joined Troy Drayton. Third down and 1 on the 8-yard line. On a bootleg, being chased by Mims. Miller's throw intercepted by Darian Gordon. Second interception of the game for Gordon, snuffs out the Rams' threat.
They're going to catch Jerome Bettis. First thing you get is Mims. He doesn't bite, and he forces him a little bit deeper, and then it's a scramble in the back of the end zone. Miller takes a chance, trying to get the ball to Flipper Anderson, who's been quiet all day, really one catch. But watch Gordon stay with him. And then the nice interception, and he brings it back out.
Jackie Slater got hurt on this play. Took a shot from Mims right in the midsection.
And watch Mims, and he forces him deep. And then he tries to get this one in. Just tries to get it over Gordon. But Gordon gets it.
Gordon's had 2 interceptions against the Patriots last week. This is his first today, and you remember he returned the punt 75 yards for a touchdown. So he has been a hero for the Chargers, who lead the game and have the ball.
And then they got a roughness penalty on Bettis, and that moved it out more.
On the 29-yard line, with less than a half a minute remaining. Natron Means goes around Pfeiffer, who knocks the ball out of bounds, stopping the clock with 22 seconds after a 5-yard pickup. So Gordon with his 4th interception, 3 in the last 2 games.
Say hello to everybody down there in Texas.
Well, Stanley Richard is not the only defensive back from Texas on this Charger team, apparently.
Darian Gordon turning an outstanding day today.
That'll be the last play, as you see Miller with 3 sacks, been knocked down 5 times. He too has been under pressure. And that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Chargers 21, the Rams 14. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these messages from your local Fox station. Join Heather Locklear and Dennis Miller for the biggest event of the year, the 1994 Billboard Music Awards live. See the hottest names in rock, pop, country, and rap all in one stage for one explosive night. The Billboard Music Awards live, Wednesday at 8, 7 Central on Fox. Start of the 4th quarter, Natron Means carrying the ball, and to no avail. Roman Pfeiffer making the stop. Here is Jackie Slater, who suffered bruised ribs on this play.
Well, you know, he's been playing a long time, 19 years, and that's not the first time that happened. But when you're 40 years old, it hurts just a little bit more than it did when you were 21. That's what, like I mentioned earlier, that's one of the great ones right there. I've never seen an offensive lineman with such a great mean streak as Jackie Slater played with.
Hall of Famer, I would think.
He's right there.
3rd down and 5. Stan Humphries with time, steps up, completes his pass to Mark Say. Say in a foot race, gets inside the Ram 40. Keith Lyle knocked him down. 27 yards that time for the Chargers.
Yeah, and the whole key for Stan Humphries' throw right there was that offensive line. Again, it gave him a good job of being able to step up and throw the ball and find that receiver. Now watch, he's doing right. Look at the passing lane right here. Look at this. Look at all that right there to throw the ball, and then Say just sits down in the zone.
That team is playing hurt up front, and they've come up. They struggled early, but they're playing better now. First down on the 39. With the carry is Eric Bieniemy. And right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown in our Hollywood studio. JB?
Eric Bieniemy. The stop by number 52, Joe Kelly. A gain of 6 yards on the carry.
You like the acquisition of McCants by the Cardinals.
Yeah, and I think he's helped them. It makes plays like that. You don't teach that stuff.
2nd down and 4. Means up the middle. Breaks a couple. First down. Natron Means. And it took Roman Pfeiffer, but not before Means gained 11 yards.
Nice job by Jonathan, the guard, and big Stan Brock, the tackle, along with Hall. Watch them inside. They get the big bodies on. They just get the push right in here. Watch Jonathan right there, boom. And then Stan Brock, and all they do, see this? They just allow Means one little seam, and he gets that big body right through it. Courtney Hall, the block on Shane Conley.
Means has gained 100 or more yards 6 times this year. He has 83 yards now. First down on the 22. Means driving and just gets inside the 20 for a pickup of 3. Dick Stockton and Matt Millen here at Jack Murphy Stadium. The Chargers at 8-3, trying to improve their record and remain with the best record, along with possibly Cleveland and Pittsburgh in the AFC.
Well, Means looks like he's holding that shoulder a little bit. Bieniemy is in for him. And this is a nice little changeup. And I know Means would like to be in there. But this guy here, he's got some quicks.
Second down and 7. Out of the I formation. Here's Bieniemy, and he's trapped behind the line of scrimmage. And Jimmy Jones with a good play, penetrating, and a loss of 3.
Well, you said it right. He worked right inside of Jonathan. And he made the play, gets into the backfield. Anytime you can get a guy working up the field, it messes everything up. And I like defenses that are based on penetration. That time Jones just takes the inside shoulder and makes a big play. Because even when you get penetration up the middle of the offense, if you don't make the play, you mess everything up.
3rd and 11. Chargers are in field goal range. Designed rollout and a pass to the other side to Ronnie Harmon. And Marquez Pope brings him down short of the first down by about 4 yards. And the field goal is coming up.
Well, that's a good job by this Charger offense of coming up with different ways to use Harmon. See, he fakes the block up top, and then he goes out on that short screen. He doesn't get the first down. The defense wins this one. But I think a nice changeup in the way the Chargers are trying to get Harmon the football.
Gilbert will hold, and Carney, who's 2 for 2 today, including a 48-yarder, has really boomed the kicks today. 32-yard attempt coming up. And let's see if there's movement on the right side of the line, whether it was Brock or the Rams went over Bailey.
That's going to be a first down.
Start prior to the snap. 93 offense.
So 5 yards back. And this,
Reuben Davis.
so a 37-yard attempt coming up now for Carney. The way he's been kicking today, it shouldn't
won't
bother
matter.
him.
They can knock it back to the 50. He's going to hit it through.
Hand came up.
Yeah, you can see him right in there.
So again, the try from 37. And the kick is on the mark and good. John Carney.
He's killing it today.
29 for 32 on the year. 3 for 3 today. And the Chargers have added to their lead. It's now 24-14, San Diego. Chargers used up 5.5 minutes on that possession, with Carney kicking his 3rd field goal of the game, and it's 24-14. There's Lang and Kinchin back. And it's going to be Lang at the 12-yard line. He's had a big day, and another good return by Lang, and he is hit hard out of bounds. Andre Coleman and the Sheriff, 28-yard return by Lang.
It's been a relatively quiet day, only 3 tackles for Junior Seau. And I think there's a couple reasons. First of all, the Rams have only run the ball 12 times. That kind of takes them out of the run game. And then in the pass game, they've really been playing lots of zone coverage today. Haven't been blitzing them and sending them. So that keeps them dropped back and takes them out again.
Can't run the ball too much more now either. Trailing by 10. First down on the 40. And a play fake on first down. Miller's pass. And it's trapped. Incomplete. Jesse Hester, the intended receiver, and Darian Gordon defending on the play. Rams have turned it over 3 times today. Chargers once, but the Rams scored on that one. Miller, 208 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gordon with an interception and a 75-yard punt return for a touchdown. And that was the big play that got the Chargers started in the second half.
Yeah, and that's what really changed momentum and got the emotion flowing for this team.
Second down and 10. Miller swings it out to Jerome Bettis. Something the Rams have been trying to do to get the ball to Bettis as a receiver, and he picks up a couple.
You know, there's a lot of guys that they want to try to get the ball to, and one guy, another really quiet today, has been Flipper Anderson. Watch. Now, he's going to be open in the zone. He sits down inside, but they just throw the ball back outside to Bettis. And this is a big play guy. Flipper Anderson is a big play man, especially down the field. He's, look at this, only 1 catch today.
They may have to look for him now with 9:15 remaining. Third down and 7. And a rollout. Big pressure and throwing the ball away. And it was Chris Mims who broke that whole idea up. Tough day for Gandy, the rookie tackle.
Well, they were going to go with that screen away, and it was perfectly set up. Except that Mims just comes right back and works off the block right there and forces the ball to be thrown early because on the other side, they had a nice screenplay set up. Nice play by Mims.
Sean Landeta will kick it away. Darian Gordon, who has returned 175 yards for a score. Chargers lead 24-14, looking to extend their record to 9-3 on the year. And a booming kick by Landeta will send Gordon back inside his 10. Nice bit of running. And he brings it out to the 23-yard line. That was a 50-yard kick by Sean Landeta. In their last 4 possessions, the Chargers have 3 field goals and a touchdown. But look at the number of plays. They've used up a lot of time in the process.
Yeah, and look at the results after those plays. And I think all that can be traced back to Darian Gordon and given this team the emotional lift that it's been needed.
Chargers on the 23. First down out of the I formation. Natron Means breaks out of the pack. Flag is down, and Means is hit at the 28 by Joe Kelly.
And there's a flag right in the middle of that whole thing, which usually means holding.
5-yard gain that time. And it's against the Chargers. Want to remind you, at the end of this game, Matt and I will select the Miller Lite player of the game.
You know what impressed me most about Bobby Ross?
Holding, number 84, offense.
Aaron Lang, the tight
10
end.
yards, first down.
Yeah, I think Bobby Ross is a pretty straight shooter. I think he's one of those coaches that it's easy to respect because he's honest with you. He doesn't paint a rosy picture. He never paints it glum. He just paints a very realistic picture, and it's easy to follow people like that.
He was sincere when he said when we were 6-0, I said at least worst we could be is 6-10.
Yeah, and I think he's one of those guys that makes everything believable for the team.
First down and 20, back at the 13. Humphries going up top, throws it up for grabs to Say, and the pass is short. Henley, one of the defenders downfield.
Well, he had to put some air in that thing because Joe Kelly and Shane Conlon came on that blitz. And feeling the pressure, he just aired it up outside. Remember, this Ram defense, they've been throwing a lot of different blitzes. They're going to go with this, a strong cross is what this is called, from the backer position. Conlon gets up in the air and forces Humphries to throw the ball up high.
Conlon having another fine game. Second down and 20. Humphrey gets out of trouble and completes the pass. That's Jefferson, John Jefferson, who gets hit. Humphrey did a good job of scrambling out of that one and a gain of 12 yards. Conlon again.
What great hustle by Shane Conlon. Now he's going to go with the blitz, and then he ends up all the way back to the other side on just pure hustle.
Jefferson now with 3 catches for 39 yards. So we saw Conlon getting in on the quarterback on one play and then covering downfield on the next. 3rd down and 8. 7:40 remaining in the 4th quarter. Here comes Pope on a blitz. Deep pass, incomplete. They were going for Jefferson, but the pass was thrown too long.
Marquez Pope come out of the secondary, and the guy who picked him up is the guy they try to get open all the time. But this time a nice read by Harmon. Sees him back inside and just gets enough of a bump to allow Humphries to throw that ball.
Well, the penalty hurt the Chargers on that possession, and the Rams defense played it well and forcing Brian Wagner to kick. He has punted 5 times today, and Kinchin 9-yard return on his first punt return. Lang has been doing most of it on the kickoff. Great kick. Beautiful kick by Wagner. Will send Kinchin back to his 20 and then throws across the field to Todd Light. And Light has some running room. Flag is down.
Yeah, that's coming back.
Light still on his feet and ridden out of bounds. But there's a penalty marker down, and that may bring it back.
Yeah, and that's Lang. What they had is Lang was trying to get a block, and what he did was he held on to the guy, and he just kept on holding.
Wayne Sevier knew it.
Yeah, that's a severe look from Wayne Sevier. Is that a picture of disgust right there or what?
Holding on the return, number 38. 10-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10.
Well, that would have been a good break for the Rams. Instead, they're going to have to start from in their own territory. Timeout here at Jack Murphy Stadium. While the Chargers had scored on their 4 possessions, second half the Rams have come up empty, including an interception on what was their most impressive drive. 10 plays, 67 yards, and Gordon with the pick.
And so what do you have to do if you're the Rams right now? Look, you need 2 scores. So you got to get back in it. I think you go right now a little bit to that misdirection again, start trying to use the speed of the Chargers to go against them, and then you got to get the ball into your big play people, and that means Flipper Anderson.
He's caught only 1 pass today. 1st and 10 on the 38. Miller out of the backfield. Lang puts on a good move. Kind of throws the defender, Matt, and then made his move, gets to midfield. Dennis Gibson brings him down, and a gain of 12.
What a nice job at the end there by Troy Drayton. 2 guys in the same spot, so something was wrong with a little bit of a mix-up. But then watch Troy Drayton, and then watch Lang cut back up underneath. He makes Seau miss. And then this guy's pretty good with the ball in his hands.
I guess.
Makes Gordon make he makes a miss. It's just when he doesn't have his ball in his hands that he ends up getting the hold there.
1st down in midfield. Miller going deep, and he's got Hester, but he overthrows him, and covering was Dwayne Harper.
And Harper was right there. In fact, Jesse Hester, he's arguing with the official right there, saying that Harper got in his way, didn't allow him to get downfield.
Arizona Cardinals have come back to tie the Bears with 36 seconds left, 16-16. Tell you what, if the Cardinals wind up winning that game, that really throws the NFC into a big grab bag, with a lot of the contenders like Philadelphia and Minnesota losing today. Atlanta winning. 2nd and 10 at midfield.
4
Miller fires low, and it's caught into Charger territory by Jesse Hester, and a gain of 4 yards. Miller today 19 of 32, 227 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Third down and 6. Miller downfield. He's got Todd Kinchin. And Kinchin still on his feet. Is hit. And a 1st down and a gain of 17 yards with the rookie Willie Clark from Notre Dame making the stop.
Boy, and at the end of that, Flipper Anderson came back and just drilled somebody. Watch Kinchin work up the field again in the zone, and then he comes back inside. And this kid, when he gets he just has a knack of making something happen. Watch this right at the end. Harper, boom, right there. Flipper Anderson, that's a 2-for-1 right there. He got the sheriff, Richards, and he also got Harper.
He shot the sheriff?
He shot the sheriff, but he didn't get the deputy. It's amazing.
Always happens that way. First down on the 29-yard line. Big third down play that time, and the pass to Bettis is dropped. Junior Seau greeted Bettis up the middle. That was a first down, so the big third down pass by Miller. As Matt mentioned, the Rams need 2 scores to win this one, and they have 4:55 remaining.
Well, and now you're down under 5 minutes, so this has to be 4-down territory right here. You got 2 scores, so maybe you take the field goal and hope you get it back again.
Chargers have lost 3 out of their last 5. Rams have lost 2 in a row. 2 hungry teams trying to turn it around. Second down and 10. On the draw play, Bettis nowhere to go. Bounces off a defender. Great bit of running and a first down for Bettis inside the 20. Gibson on the stop. That was the best run of the day by either team.
Watch the feet of Jerome Bettis. I mean, he gets stuffed right at the hole, right here. See it, boom, runs right into the back of Newberry. And then with the spin, look at the feet when he gets in the open field. That's so impressive. Makes a guy miss Lonnie Young and picks up a huge first down.
Jerome Bettis, 38 yards on 10 carries. That's almost as much as he's rushed for in the previous 2 games. And we have a official's timeout. Bob McElwee going over to confer.
Please reset the stadium clock to 4:21.
So they've got to add 10 seconds to the clock. Crowd, of course, doesn't want to see any time added to the clock with their Chargers leading by 10. Chargers have had several weeks going east. They are a tired team coming into practice this week after 3 trips to the East Coast. First down on the 19. Miller swings it out to Howard Griffith. Griffith has been a weapon in the second half for the Rams. Griggs defending and a gain of 3.
You know, and down the stretch right now, I think the rookie Wayne Gandy is doing a pretty good job on Mims. And Mims got some pressure early. But Gandy, with using those long arms, and he's gotten better all year long. I think, like I mentioned earlier, this is a guy who's going to work on his strength. He needs to get stronger, more powerful. But in terms of feet and technique, I think he's doing a pretty good job.
Bears and Cardinals in overtime, and I think the Cardinals have won twice in overtime this year. 2nd and 7. Pressure on Miller, going up top. Bruce. Isaac Bruce, and the pass was too far for him. Trying to keep the feet in bounds. Darian Gordon defending downfield, and that will bring up 3rd down.
But a nice job of the offensive line giving Miller some time to throw. Sets his feet and throws. Again, Gandy doing a good job outside on Mims, getting those big long arms on him.
Third and 7. Another big third down play for Miller. Miller trying to get away. Fires it out of bounds. And it'll be 4th down. Intended for Flipper Anderson, and O'Neal coming after him from the blind side.
Yeah, O'Neal makes the play right here. Going to force him out. Running to his left. Watch 91 work on Jones. Works back underneath and flushes him out of the pocket. And now you have the quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, running to his left. And that's a tough throw to make.
They're going to go for the 3 points here, unless there is a fake. Zendejas, 15 of 17 this year. This is a 33-yard attempt. Tommy Maddox, the holder. Zendejas with the kick, good. And a 33-yard field goal, and the first field goal of the game for the Rams. 3:48 remaining, and the score now is 24-17 in favor of the San Diego Chargers. Well, Al Bundy is starting a baseball league of his own, and tonight some of baseball's biggest stars are dropping by to give Al a run for his money. Don't miss a grand slam Married with Children tonight at 9, 8 Central, right after a full hour of The Simpsons.
Denver 15, Cincinnati 13.
The Rams have 2 timeouts remaining, and the Chargers have all 3 of theirs.
Seattle 7.
First points for the Rams, the field goal by Zendejas since the first half. (24-17) in favor of the Chargers. Pittsburgh Steelers leading 14-3. If they hold their lead, they will go 9-3, tied with Cleveland for first place in the AFC Central. So the Bobby Ross Chargers need to win to maintain a 9-3 record with the Browns and Steelers for the best in the AFC. Now it's 21-3 in favor of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I saw Hostetler was knocked out early in the game. Without Hostetler, I don't think they have a shot.
Kansas City holding on against Seattle. Close game at Mile High, and Cardinals won the toss, and they will get the ball first in overtime. Surprised Buddy Ryan didn't want to go on defense in overtime in that game. Knowing how he feels about the Zendejas with the kickoff will send Andre Coleman back to the 6th. And Coleman brings it out beyond the 25. Toby Wright making the special teams tackle.
Tackle number 32, Toby Wright.
Got to separate some of the blue and gold from the blue and gold. Stan Humphries, 17 of 33. 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The touchdown pass was to Harmon to put the Chargers in front for the first time in the 3rd quarter.
2 over. 2 over set.
And the pitch goes to Natron Means. Going right and outside and stopped by Marquez Pope, former Charger, having a big game today, gain of 6.
I think Marquez Pope plays pretty good all the time. I think he's one of those guys who you can always count on. And I think when you put together a team, you say, all right, which guy is always going to be there? Who's always going to make plays? I think Marquez Pope is one of them.
Rams are going to call the timeout to stop the clock with 3:31 remaining. It is their 2nd timeout of the second half, leaving them with only 1. Tell you, both of these quarterbacks deserve a world of credit, Matt. They're both Humphries and Miller, who we talk about quarterbacks playing hurt. Both of them have played big-time hurt this year and are really warriors in this game.
Yeah, I think they're tough guys. I mean, we've mentioned this before. I think of all the positions, when you look at them in the league, and there's a lot of tough people out there, quarterback, to me, has been one of those positions that really have some tough guys. I mean, they get beat up like you wouldn't believe. Humphries is a perfect example, and he just keeps on coming back.
Let's take a look while we have a moment at the NFC playoff picture. Division leaders are the Cowboys, the 49ers, and the Bears. And in the wild card race, Minnesota losing today. So did Philadelphia, lost their 3rd in a row. Green Bay, Detroit, and Atlanta, and the Cardinals are all in contention. 2nd and 4 at the 32. Here's Means. And Natron Means picking up 3, and Newman coming up from the secondary.
Well, they're going to take their last time out.
With 3:21 showing on the clock. Means is 5 yards away from his 7th 100-yard rushing game.
Well, this is the gamble right here that the Rams take. They set up 3rd and about 2.5. No timeouts. They have to stop them right here, get the ball back. Now you figure the clock's going to stop at least one more time with the 2-minute warning. But if they can get the ball back right here on downs, they're in pretty good shape.
So they're betting that they do that. Let's take a look now at the Chargers' remaining schedule. Raiders, that's going to be a big game a week from Monday. The 49ers here, then the Jets and the Steelers.
That's a tough tough schedule.
3 out of 4 are here. That's the good news. The bad news is that is a tough schedule.
Yeah, it really is. Look at the Raiders. The Jets are playing well. San Francisco. It doesn't get easy for Bobby Ross's team. But like we said earlier, they have the destiny in their own hands. I mean, all they have to do, they don't have to worry about anybody else. That's a good position to be in. You just go out and play each game, and you're all right.
Steelers headed for their 9th win. If the Chargers hold on, they win their 9th game of the year, and the Browns won their 9th today as well. 3rd down and 1. Big play for the Rams defense. And Means hit, and he did not make it. Natron Means is stopped on 3rd down. And the Rams' gamble of using their timeouts on the defensive side may have paid off, depending on what they do now.
Right in the middle of their defense. They just ran right at him.
They're going to measure.
They're going to be short.
They're short by maybe a little less than a yard, not more than that.
Timeout for measurement.
3:03 showing on the clock. And it's more than a yard that they're short, so the Chargers will have to kick.
Yeah, watch, they're going to run right in at Jones and Gilbert. And then here comes Shane Conlon, Joe Kelly back inside. I mean, that's just all team, that front 7. You know, watch Pope right here. Look at this. Boom, look at that job of Means putting his head right into the shoulder of Pope. And then look, that's just good, solid defense. Everybody getting to the football.
4th down coming up, and now the Chargers have been huddling over at the sideline. Come onto the field. Brian Wagner will kick. Todd Kinchin will go back. So we'll see how Chris Miller and company does in the 2-minute offense. Remember, the Rams only need a field goal to tie the game. And the Chargers are going to call the timeout to talk over their plan on the kick. While we have a moment, we'd like to thank some people who do a great job every week in the very different areas of production that help bring this broadcast to you. In the graphics area, Mark Rita and Mike Kirby. Our truck supervisor is Milt Jackson. In video, Gary Graffio, David Hill, and Mark Backham. And our maintenance supervisor, Frank Harvey. They all do critical jobs to make this broadcast hopefully enjoyable for you, the viewer.
Here, I thought you were talking to me.
I'm saving it. I'm saving the best for last.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And hopefully that's what the Rams are hoping too, that they're saving their best. Nice transition, huh?
Yeah.
They're trying to save their best for last right here.
Wagner to kick. Kinchin is back. 2:40 on the clock. Not a good kick. Bounces at the 30 and picked up by Todd Kinchin. Took a little gamble there with the defender right there, and a 40-yard kick. And the Rams will have a little better field position than they've had most of the day. With 2.5.
Yeah, you got 2.5 to go, and you got, what, 73 yards to get to the end zone. You have to score 6 points.
They need the touchdown and an extra point to tie the game and a 2-point conversion to win the game if they want to do that.
Yeah, I think they'd go for the tie here. You take your chances now that you've picked up the pace a little bit.
4 wide receivers, 6 defensive backs, starting from the 27. Miller with time, drills it. Hester
Dropped it.
And that's only the second pass he has dropped all year. He was wide open.
Yeah, he read the zone perfect, went right back inside. Again, working that intermediate area. And that ball just too strong for his hands, goes right through it. That should have been a catch.
Again, I want to remind you, the Rams need a touchdown. I think earlier I said field goal. They're down by 7, 24-17, so they have to go the distance. 2nd down and 10. swings it out to Johnny Bailey.
Nice
Great tackle that time by Sean Van Horst, one of the nickelbacks.
And they're going to hurry up now. I want you to watch Chris Miller. You're going to see him lift his leg like what he's doing is for motion, but it's not. This is a snap-on timing with a loud crowd.
Third down, and they're going to take 2 downs if they need it. Miller's pass is caught. And that's Chris Brantley with his first catch of the game, and he works his way for the first down. And the 2-minute warning is here. 2 minutes remaining, 7-point lead. What kind of pressure will be on the Eagles against the high-flying Cowboys next week in the first half of our doubleheader, Matt?
Panic City in Philadelphia. It's no longer the city of brotherly love. It's the city of panic, and I think because their offensive line has really started to show the effects, and you're expecting Cunningham to do everything.
We'll be there.
He needs help.
We'll be there to see it.
Yep.
Dallas, Philadelphia, first half of the doubleheader. The Falcons and the 49ers, 2 of the NFL's best. The Cowboys and the Niners on display next Sunday on Fox. 1st and 10 on the 39. Rams have no more timeouts. Miller out of the shotgun will be sacked. And a big one. Leslie O'Neal now with 11 on the year. Loss of 4 in the hurry up. Rams have to get those receivers back to the line of scrimmage.
Niners stop the clock. Now they'll run Mims in. This is a good opportunity to make a substitution. Reuben Davis will come out and Mims will come in.
Miller has been under pressure. 4 sacks, 2.5 by Leslie O'Neal, and a lot of other pressures.
What's the explanation?
It's the clock they want to adjust.
To 140. They put 5 seconds on.
2nd down and 14. More pressure on Miller. And the pass to Hester didn't have control. Out of bounds, and he was hit in the air. And that'll bring up 3rd down. Harper was downfield covering, among others.
But Ray Lee Johnson, 99, and Mims up top, man, they just collapse everything. Look at Ray Lee Johnson blow through there. I mean, that was one of those meet me at the quarterback thing. And then the ball's in the air, and that would have been a tough catch, but it's one that could have been made.
In overtime, the Chicago Bears have defeated the Arizona Cardinals 19-6. Big win for the Bears.
Big win for Walsh.
At 8-4, now in first place in the NFC Central.
Who would have ever believed it?
By a game over Minnesota. 3rd and 14, the screen to Bailey. Johnny Bailey gets up to the 45, and it'll bring up 4th down, and the Rams will have to go for it. Les Miller on the stop. Clock is running towards a minute. 4th and 4. Can this keep it alive for the Rams? It's intercepted.
That's going to be 6 for Sean Van Horst.
Sean Van Horst will run it in for the touchdown.
Touchdown, interception return by Sean Van Horst. He read that thing all the way.
That's his first NFL touchdown. 4th year out of Howard University in Washington. Jesse Hester was the intended receiver, and the Chargers have nailed this one down.
Yeah, that tapping you here right there, that's the nails in the coffin for the Rams.
Extra point, Carney is on. Holding is Gail Gilbert. And the Chargers lead 31-17.
Jesse Hester was the intended receiver. Now watch, Van Horst does an outstanding job of reading Miller the whole way. And he had a beat of that ball before anybody broke, he broke. And then 48 yards later, that's a pretty happy horse.
Big plays today, Matt, for the Chargers. A very happy horse indeed. Van Horse and Gordon with 2 interceptions. Here is Van Horse's and also Gordon's punt return, 75 yards for a score. So it was not the offense as much as the special teams and the defense that really made it happen today.
Yeah, and I think if you look back and you had to say what was the difference today for the San Diego Chargers, you have to say Darian Gordon. I think Gordon was the guy who provided the impetus for the team to really go on.
31-17 and 31 points, kind of what the Chargers were used to. Remember coming in, leading the AFC in scoring.
Yeah, but that's a little deceiving, as you and I just talked about.
Yeah, defensive doing.
Yeah, 14 of them
teams.
Yeah, were other than the offense. And you know they got this cannon down here. that thing. My rookie year, that thing went off. I almost peed in my pants on the sideline. It was unbelievable. I didn't know what the heck it was.
And I understand that noise is so loud it even wakes that fella up down there who pulls the trigger on it. What happened when you heard the cannon? I didn't get that.
I'm embarrassed to talk about it. Don't tell anybody.
I won't. Rams picking it up. Going to go far. They ought to turn him into a running back. He's a defensive lineman. Right now, let's send you to Hollywood and James Brown. JB. That was a big game today for the Bears, Matt. 1-game lead over Minnesota.
Unbelievable. That's huge. Now, you still have Green Bay coming up, who throttled them on that Monday night game. But I think the one thing that stand out this year for sure is Dave Wannstedt as the coach of the year. Man, it's not even close.
First down on the 45. Screen pass to Bailey. And Bailey will go out of bounds and stop the clock in Charger territory with this game without any timeouts for the Rams. Is all put away. And the Miller Lite player of the game is Darian Gordon. He intercepted a big pass to snuff out a Ram threat. And of course, as Matt has mentioned, the big 75-yard punt return preceded by the 2-point conversion in the third quarter that really woke up the Chargers today. First down at the 40-yard line. Miller going deep. He's got Flipper Anderson. And broken up nicely by Dwayne Harper. That was superb defense down there.
You see Harper at the end was so happy, ran into the stands and started high-fiving people.
Right now, getting back to the Bears, they have the 3rd best record in the NFC after the 49ers and the Cowboys.
Well, that's really amazing. I think one of the things that happens with the Bears is when you look at them on tapes and you get ready for them, you say, yeah, this is not that good of a football team. Because they don't really have any really outstanding players except for maybe Donnell Wolford. But they play extremely well as a team.
Second down and 10. 26 seconds to go. Again, Bailey downfield. Johnny Bailey will go out of bounds. Another first down, stopping the clock with 20 seconds. Stanley Richard making the play. Stanley Richard from Hawkins, Texas. And we had a chance to talk to him yesterday. And in the month of February, we know about President's Day. We know about Valentine's Day. When Stanley Hawkins goes back to Hawkins, Texas, or Stanley Richard, it's Hawkins week.
I said, what do you do? He says, anything I want. They love me back there in Hawkins.
He gets a week, though, Matt.
Unbelievable.
First and 10. Miller, nobody there for the
Hawk. The Sheriff intercepts.
Stanley Richard with another interception. That's going to run out the time, maybe. And the clock stops with 8 seconds to go. What a celebration for the Rams, for the Chargers. Three interceptions today by the San Diego defensive unit. Well, here are the holidays in February. Groundhog Day, we know February 2nd, that's one day. Valentine's Day, we know is one day. We know about President's Day one day, but with Stanley Richard, it's what?
It's Stanley Richard week.
What happens during that week?
He said he can do whatever he wants. He says he likes to go in and talk to kids in schools, and he'll go in and read to them and talk to them about drug stuff and all that. And the guy loves Hawkins, Texas, and they love him.
They give him a week. Chargers have won. The final score 31-17. Big win for San Diego. Matt and I will be back in just a moment.